Excellent. You know, and let's delve into the issue of addiction here, because in the running community, it's not uncommon that you hear someone
Hmm.
comment about being addicted to running. And it's often
Yes.
kind of bandied about, as a funny thing. Let's talk about what is a positive addiction to start out with.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you said it like that too, because I think this is something as a society that we play with. And I hope if people take away maybe one thing, it's that we need to be more mindful about our language and the way that we use language around things like this. So I hear it kind of bantered about like, oh, I'm addicted to running, or I'm addicted to this, or I'm addicted to that. Most of us aren't. Most of us just enjoy running, and it's a really positive addition to our lives. And that's really important to make that distinction that it's perfectly healthy to enjoy running, to prefer running as a coping mechanism, to have a bad day and want to go out for a run, and to find running to be a central part of one's life. All of those things are really normal. Where we get concerned is when exercise or running, either or,
Right.
becomes the most important thing in one's life. And it becomes the number one go to mechanism for stress reduction or mood management when nothing else will help. So we get really concerned about someone who would identify exercise as the most important thing in their life, or who starts to experience conflict with family and friends around the amount or type of exercise that you're engaging in. Someone who uses exercise as the only way to change their mood. So we'd be looking at someone who you have a bad day and you need the run. There's nothing else that will help. There's nothing else that you can think of that will improve your day other than going for the run. We also would look at someone who feels preoccupied with running and who experiences a sense of loss or irritability if they're unable to engage in exercise.
Right.
And then the real marker, which is one that we borrow from all types of addiction, which is if you have to, either through injury or through choice, cut down on the amount of running you do and feel terrible and feel that compulsion to restart, and develop that preoccupation. So being unable to cut back, unable to take a rest day because it becomes an issue of dependency. That's what we're really looking at and talking about when we talk about a true exercise addiction is it becomes dependency, not enjoyment. And that to me is the huge marker. So a lot of us play with this language around I'm addicted to it. You're not addicted to it if you still really, really love it. You're addicted to it if you need it and have become dependent upon it.
And so maybe you're at a point in your life where it is not healthy for you because of
Exactly.
injury, overtraining, whatever, and you still
Exactly.
have to do it even though you know it's hurting you.
Exactly. That's what we're looking at. So it
Okay.
really is an addiction when it's hurting you physically, emotionally, in your family relationships, something like that, but you can't stop because you've become dependent. And
How,
and there are, I think, a lot of people more than we talk about who fall into that category.
I was about to ask, how common is it?
I think it's really common. And I think that various people pass through stages of their life where it becomes temporarily addictive or temporarily an issue of dependency. And we don't talk about it because it's a healthy addiction. And so I always encourage people who are concerned about family or friends or even themselves to substitute something else, to substitute wine or substitute cigarettes. If you needed wine as much as you need running, would we be concerned about you?
Right.
And if the answer is yes, then we probably should be concerned. But what happens in our culture, we have such a culture of overuse generally that we tend to be really insensitive to signs of addiction. If you think right now, just alcohol, for example, everyone can name at least one friend who they think drinks a little too much.
Right.
Everyone, absolutely everyone can. It's a cultural epidemic. And I think most runners could name at least one friend who they think runs a little too much beyond the point when it's healthy.